Now you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You see this, right? This is called as image, and this is buttons, right? This is a button. This is a text area. Okay. So what happens during the UI automation, right? We in sometimes what we do is like, no, we tell the automation saying that, okay, get all the objects in this page. So in this, when it returns, right, it will return saying that, okay, these are the objects. Okay, one object is image, another object is a text area, another is another is a button. So what you have to do is like, no, you have to type. So it will just when it returns, right, it won't know what type it is actually. So when you want to do some operation, when you want to type something here, or when you want to click this button, right, you have to typecast it to button, or else you have to typecast this object to a text area, you have to typecast this object to a image. Then only you can do operations on it actually. So that is why I introduced this typecasting in the starting itself. Down the line, like now, when we see more examples, when you go into classes or objects, right, that will be really useful actually.
Okay.
It will solve a lot of the problems actually for us. So all you need to know for typecasting at the moment is like, no, it is trying to change one thing into another thing. That's it, another type.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
That's all to it. There's
Yeah.
nothing much to it. Okay.
Okay.
Let's. Okay. So again, we are going to see some basic not it is a basic stuff, but it's one of the most important thing which you will be using regularly every time, again and again, again and again. It's one of the building block of the programming. Okay, what we're going to see is today is like, no, it's all the types of different types of looping what we can do. When I say looping, in the sense like, no, a block of code, right, where we can execute it multiple any number of times we want based on the requirement. Okay, so there are very a lot of ways to do it, and we're going to see pretty much all the ways how it is, and then we will see one example as well. Okay, where we can see some do some cool stuff with that. Okay, just, just to follow picture. Okay. Okay. So last session, what we saw was like, no, we saw if statement, right? If statement is nothing but just a statement, and then you do this. Here, what you will have is like, no, this is a Boolean condition here. Okay, the Boolean condition. What I mean by Boolean condition is it's either can be true or false. That's what it means. So based on it, if it's true means this will sorry. If it's true means this block of code will get executed. If it's not true means if you have an else part, it will be the else part will get executed, or else nothing will happen. Okay, that's what if statement is. For while is exactly similar to it. First we will see for, and then we will see while. Okay, now, okay, for is also something similar to it, where you have a condition. Based on the condition, whether the block will get executed or not. Okay, so okay, first what you need to do is like, no, they will usually call these things as iterators. Okay, when I say iterators means like, no, so how many iterations you want. When I say iterations, right, it's like how many times you want the block of code to be executed. That's all it means. Okay, so say for example, you want to a lot of things actually. Okay, if you want to see, like, if you want to calculate everything, okay, what is the square, what is the cube, what is the fourth power, what is the fifth power, what is the sixth power of a variable, right? You can do using a for loop itself. Okay, let's do that example. Okay, simple example. Okay, now what I'm going to do is like, now I'm going to calculate. I'll write it here actually. I'll write it here, so it will be comment actually. I'm going to get a value from the user, and I'm going to calculate from 2 power to 10th power. Okay, so now to do this, right, usually without the for loop, let's do without how we will do it without a for loop. Okay, public. Okay, first to calculate the first power, what we do is out star, right? Okay, this is a simple example. Okay, if I run this one, sorry, one second. Okay, it's asking me to enter a value. I'm going to enter 9. If I press enter, right, I'm getting all the powers. Okay, 81. It's 9 square, 9 cube, 9 to the power 4, 9 to the power 5, 9 to the power 6. Okay, this is a simple thing. Okay, well, how many lines of code you got is like 1, 2, 3, then 5 here. Okay, so 6 here. Okay, so how many is like, it's like 9 lines of code is there. Okay, to do these kind of repetitive operations, right, you can use looping statements to reduce into a single line of code. Let's see how we can do it with a for loop. Okay, now, okay, there are 3 components to the for loop. Okay, I will start writing here. Okay, there are 3 components, and for loop is the most common thing you will use. While is next common. Do while I rarely use. Okay, for loop is the most common thing we will use because of the flexibility available in the for loop. Okay, so there are some limitations to while loop, which the for loop can do more actually. Okay, so that is the reason why we use commonly for loops. Okay, 3 components are there in a for loop. Okay, now, so what are the 3 components is like now? The first component is initialization. Okay, next is condition, next is iteration. Okay, so what this means is like now, so this line of code, right, this part, right, this will get executed only once. Okay, when the for loop is starting, so that's why it's called as initialization. Okay, once it gets initialized, right, and then it will check the condition. If the condition is true, means like now it will execute it. Okay, once it okay, once the condition is true, if the condition is still true, means it will get executed. When it comes for the second time, right, second time it will come here, right, this part won't get executed. It will just, this part will get executed. Once the iteration happens, after the iteration happens, it will check the condition again. If it's still true, it will execute. Then it keeps on going on. So only for the first time, initialization will get executed. After that, this condition will get executed in every time. Okay, in every iteration, the condition will get this will be checked. This condition will be checked whether it is true or not. Only if it's true, it will get executed. Okay, otherwise it won't get executed. It's really simple. Okay, this part will get executed only for the first time. After that, always this part will get executed. Okay, condition will be checked each and every time. That's all to it. Okay, now let's see how the for loop works. Okay, as I said, like now there are three parts to it. I'm just going to break it down. Okay, now first part is initialization. Okay, I'm going to initialize a variable. Say for example, sorry, not type. Okay, I'm just going to do some variable called as count. Okay, 0. Now I want how many times, say for example, if I want the loop to go on for 10 times, means like no, I want, so do this and then count plus. Okay, if you don't want to, you don't need to do plus. You can just do count equal to count plus 1. So it's a perfectly valid one. Okay, now what happens here is like no, so when the loop starts first time, right, it will initialize the count as 0, and then it will check the condition, and then it will execute this one, and then from the next time onwards, like now this statement will get executed, and then condition will be checked. Remember this clearly. This statement will get executed, then only the condition. After that only the condition will be checked. Okay, let's do one simple printout statement and see. Okay, I'm just going to comment this for a moment. Okay, now if I execute this one, right, so okay, Now what has happened is like now first time when it comes, right, count is 0, so count will be printed. Next time what will happen, the iteration will happen, this part will get executed, the count will be incremented by 1, and then you can see that still the count is less than 10, so it will get executed and it will keep on going on. Okay, and then what will happen is like now when the count becomes 9, right, when it comes for the 10th time here, what will happen is count will become count equal to count plus 1 will get executed, so count will become as 10, and then it will check whether 10 is less than 10. It is obviously not true, so false this will result in a false, and then it will come out of this loop. Okay, that's it. That's all. That's it to it. Okay, this is just a Boolean condition. Okay, now I assume this everyone understood, because I'm going to go into a bit of various combinations of for loop. Okay, what are the things you can strip away? Okay, is everyone clear with this one, right? Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, now what can I do is like now all this different statements, right? You can have like say for example, if you put this, what will happen, you can ask, this is just a Boolean condition, right? If you put true here, means like now this is a perfectly valid one. Actually what's going to happen is like now this will become turned into an infinite loop, because this condition will never turn as false. Okay, this will always be true. If I run this one, right, I'll get an endless loop of count. See, it's keep on going, it will never stop. Okay, it's that's what we call it as an infinite loop. Okay, now what has happened here is like no, because you need to have a flexible thing here, so that like no, at some point of time it can come out of this loop. Okay, so if you should have a condition like that. But if you have something like let's go back to our previous one. So count is equal to less than 10 we did, right? Now let's do this one. Okay, if I do -1 here, means like no, again it will turn into a kind of an infinite loop. Why it will turn into a kind of infinite loop? No, first the count is 0. Okay, now we'll get a printout saying that 0. What will happen next time is like no, it will get -1. So again the count, this condition is still true. Okay, it will keep on going on -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11. It keeps on going on, because negative number is always less than a positive number, right? So it will turn into infinite loop. And then one more thing I told you, right? Yeah, in our integer or byte world, what will happen is like no, if you cross beyond the limit, right, and then it will become positive at some point actually. So after executing what is the maximum? It's 2 billion, right? After executing 2 billion times, right, it will get end, because the bit flip will happen, and then it will become a positive number in the end actually. Okay, so this will turn into an infinite loop again actually. If I run this one, right, wait a second, I'll just comment out this one actually. It's just a mess. Now you see this one, right? It keeps on going on. Now you guys understood, right, how this condition works actually. This is just a Boolean condition. Okay, what it can result in either true or false. Okay, if until unless it results in true, right, the statement will get this block of code will get executed again and again. So until unless it is true. Okay, until unless it turns into false, then it will come out with this statement. Okay, that's how it works. You can do anything you want actually. Okay, because this is just a statement, right? You don't say for example you have sometimes people will do this kind of mistakes actually. Okay, I equal to 0 means like now you can do I++ here. It's perfectly valid one. But what will happen is like now again this will turn into infinite loop, because count will get initialized as 0, and then it will print out 0. I++ will happen, and then count will see if it's less than 10. Yes, it will. This value will never get changed. It will always be 0, because you are not incrementing count. You are incrementing something random thing. Okay, so I'll do this one as well. I'll print out I as well. Okay. Simple to break it. Okay. This again will turn into infinite loop, because this is a mistake actually, because you see the zeros, right? I'm going to stop it. Okay, you see the zeros, right? The count is never getting incremented, and then the statement will always be true. Okay, this is because you're not changing this condition at all. Sorry, I mean you're not changing the count value at all, so count will always be less than 10. So that's why it will also turn into an infinite loop. Okay, till this you guys understood, right? How the concept of the Boolean condition works. Do anyone have any doubt? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, another thing in the with the for loop, right? You can skip a couple of these things actually. Okay. Let's when I say skip in the sense like now you don't need you can skip this actually. Okay. Sorry. Let's put this. Okay, let's go back to our original condition. Okay, you don't need to initialize it. It is not a mandatory thing to initialize here. You can initialize outside also. Okay, you can do this. This is a perfectly valid one. This is a valid statement. Okay, I'll just remove these two. Okay, if I run this one, right, like this. Okay, when you will do these kind of things, like now when you are going to have a multiple for statements, right, you usually they will do it like this actually. Okay, because if you do int I, right, int count equal to 0, it's just a repetitive code. Again you have to do int count is equal to 0. Sorry, if I comment out this one. Okay, so to get rid of the repetitive code, right, so they just initialize it once in the top and then they remove it like this. Okay, they do it like this. Okay, now so let's see this one later. Okay, now what you have done is like now you have done the initialization outside of the loop and then you have done it. Okay, again it's a perfectly valid statement. Okay, you don't need to do this one here also, you can do it inside also. Okay, again this is also perfectly valid one. So what will happen is like now first the initialization will happen, you don't have any code in the initialization, it will try to execute something here, so there is nothing there, so it won't execute anything. Okay, then it will check the condition of count is less than 10 or not. Yes, count is less than 10, so it will execute the next line of code. What will happen is like now count will go from 0 to 1 and then it will print. You won't get the 0 here print out. Okay, if you run this one, right, it will start from 1. One second, yeah, I've got two for strings, that's right. Okay, now if I execute this one, I'm going to start from 1. The reason why it's 1 is like now count will get incremented and then a count will happen. Okay, and then the count will be printed. So that's why when the count becomes 9, right, it will still go inside the loop because 9 is less than 10, and then count will get incremented as 10, and then the count will be printed out. That's what the 10 we saw. And then when it goes back to the checking the condition for the next iteration, right, 10 is not less than 10, so this will result in false, and then it won't go inside. Okay, like this way, right, you can get rid of this also. Okay, but if you get rid of this one, right, it will become an infinite loop. Okay, if I run this one, right, it will keep on going on, because by default, right, you should remember this, by default, right, it will always assume that condition is true. If there is nothing there, means like now it will assume that it is true. So you can get rid of everything. This is a way of doing infinite loop actually. Okay, there is another way of getting outside of it. Okay, now till now you guys understood, right? So first part is I'll just recap it. First part is initialization, second part is the Boolean condition, third part is the iteration. Okay, what you want to do for iteration. Okay, so why we name it like this is like now because this will get executed, this first part, right, sorry, where is it? Yeah, the first part will get executed only once. This will checked every time. This will be checked actually. Okay, you can't have any kind of arithmetic operations here. Okay, now you can have arithmetic operations or anything you want here, and it will get executed every time. Okay, after execution of this one only it will check the condition. Okay, it won't check the condition and then do it. It will first this will get executed, and then it will check the condition, then execute the block of code if it is true, if this condition result is true. In the second iteration, this will get executed, and then condition will be checked, block of code will be executed. Then the third iteration, again this will get executed, and then condition will be checked, block of code. Again iteration, condition, then block of code. It goes on like this. Okay, and then you don't need to it's not a mandatory to do all these things in the for loop itself. You can do outside of the for loop and inside of the for loop as well. Okay, another one thing I just want to point out, you remember on the day previous class I was talking about the scope. Okay, when I was telling this about the scope, right, what I told was when you declare any variable, right, that is inside that will, the scope of that variable is right only inside the block where it has been declared. Okay, when I said a block of code or block of code, what I usually means is like, now I usually mean the flower bracket, opening of the flower bracket and closing of the flower bracket. Say for example, if I do int count, and I'll just remove this, I'll go back to the original strings. Okay, okay, now what has happened is and yeah, you don't need to iterate only one, you can iterate it however you want. Actually, count is equal to count plus 2 you can do. Now what will happen is like, now it will happen twice, so the iteration will happen by 2 times, so the loop will get executed only 5 times actually, because 2 divided by 10 divided by 2 is 5, right? See this one, right? So for the first iteration it will be 0, and then the condition will be checked less than 10, absolutely 0 will be printed. In the next iteration this statement will execute it. Count will now become count equal to count plus 2 means count will become 2, still less than 10, executed. Then count will become 4. Now earlier time we incremented by 1, that's why you got 10 iterations. Now you increment by 2, now you have only like 5 iterations. You can do it like 3, anything you want. Now then it will reduce to 3 iterations actually. It's not mandatory. You can do anything actually. You can do is equal to like, so original count is equal to count into 2. Oh yeah, why this is a mistake. Why what happened was like, now why it turned into infinite loop is because count was initialized as 0, right? So what will happen in the next iteration, right? Count equal to count into 0. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So count will remain as 0 forever. So that's why it will never go beyond 10. Okay. If I initialize this by 1 means like, now it will be a proper thing. So first time it will be 1, and then it will get executed. Next time what will happen is 1 into 2 is 2, so count will become 2, it will get printed, so that's why you're getting 2. And then in the next iteration what will happen is like, now count is equal to count into 2, count was 2, so 2 into 2 is 4, so count will become 4, and then you get printed out 4. And then in the next iteration count will become 4 into 2, and then count will become as 8, and then 8 will be printed. In the next iteration 8 into 2, count will become as 16, and the condition won't be true anymore. So because 16 is not less than 10, so it will come out of it. Okay, this is what to it to the for loop. There's not, I mean, it might be it's not really complicated actually, but you can bend it to as much flexibility you want. Actually, for loop is like, no, so flexible. You can pretty much like, now this is one of the building blocks of the programming. You will use it left and right and everywhere in your programming. Okay, because looping it reduces the number of code what you want to write. Okay, now let's go back to this example. Okay, how we can reduce this into a single line. Okay, what we were trying to do is like, now we were trying to get the power of the values, right? So let's remove this code. We don't want this code also. Okay, now let's see, let's open this one back. Okay, once we got values, right, let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm going to talk something about the nested for loop actually, because we have to do the nested loop to do that one actually. Okay, when I say nested for loop is like, now it's exactly like nested if statements. Okay, you can have as many loops inside a loop you want actually. Okay, so before I go there, like, now I'll just tell you how the nested, it's exactly the same way. Okay, you do this int now do j equal to 1. So now let's do it in 0 itself. J less than 10, j plus plus. Okay, Let's do this also. I'll put the count here actually. Okay, now what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to count. I'm going to increment the count every time this gets executed. Okay. Now the count value is going to be 100. Okay, when it comes out of this block actually. The reason is like now this will get executed 10 times. Okay, this block will get executed 10 times. Okay, and this block will get executed 10 times. Why this block will get executed 10 times, and then if you do this block, right, that will also get executed 10 times. So this line of code, right, will execute 10 into 10 times. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay, see this one 100, right? Let's see some simple thing. Okay. I'm in k block. What's the value of k? Okay, I'm printing out that one. I'm in j block. I'm printing out the value of j. Okay, and this one, right? Okay, you see this one, right? Let's see this one. Okay, from here. Okay, first of all, what has happened is like, no, when it first comes inside this loop, right, this will get executed. This line of code, when it comes inside this block for the first time, right, this line of code will get executed. Okay, what I'm printing is I'm in k block, and what is the value of k? That will be 0. That's what we initialize. That's why you're getting that. Okay, then next this line of code will executed. Okay, again this is going to be a for loop, right? So this is going to be looped now. Okay, this statement is going to run multiple times based on this for loop. Okay, now what is the first statement of this one? I'm in j block, so I'm in j block. First iteration is 0. Okay, next this will run 10 times. Okay, because because before it goes here, right, it has to execute complete this block. Okay, this block is a for loop, so it will get executed as many times as this for loop is required. Okay, so and then it goes on like this. Okay, j will stay 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, again j till, and then till this j goes beyond the 10, right, it will get executed. Once it goes beyond the 10, once it becomes 10 or else goes beyond that, once it becomes 10 itself, right, it will get the statement will become false, this condition will become false, and it will come outside, and then it will execute this for the second time. So what will happen to the k now? K will get incremented, so k will become 1, and then again it will come here. That's what you are seeing here. Okay, this is how the nested loop works. You can go as many deep you want actually. Okay, oh sorry. Okay, now if I execute it, the count value will become 1000, because this statement, number of times these two statements will get executed is 1000 times. Okay, now number of times this statement will get executed is 100 times. Number of times this statement will get executed is 10 times. Okay, let's do this one. Actually, I will show you this one. Okay, count j and count l. Okay, I'm going to increment the count k here, and then I'm going to increment count j here. I'm going to increment count l here. Okay, simply this is just a variable name. Okay, I'm going to print out all the three once it's done. Okay, first let's print k. J. Yeah, okay. If I run this one, right, Okay, see this one, right? K is this value is 10, this is 100, this is 1000. What it means is like, no, this piece of code was executed for 10 times. The count was this executed 10 times because this loop is just only 10 times. Okay, it is not part of any super for loop or anything like that. It's just a simple for loop which is going to execute it 10 times. So whatever code inside this is going to execute it 10 times. Okay, now this for loop, right, has got there is another for loop here. So this whatever statement here, what I told you was like, whatever block of code inside this for loop will get executed 10 times, and then there happens to be another for loop inside that block. So this block will get executed again 10 times, and then this piece of code will execute another multiplication of 10. Okay, and then it goes on like this, and then this is 10 into 10 into 10, this is 10 into 10, this is 10. That's it. Okay, this is how the nested for loop works. Okay, now from a printout, what we know is like, now this executed was 10 times, this was executed 100 times, this was executed 1000 times. Okay, this is how nested for loops works. Okay, you can do nesting in everything actually, in the if statement, for statement, because why I started with for while and do while and everything. Okay, for is a more complicated one. While and do while is really simple. Okay, once you understand for, right, you can understand clearly what while and this thing is. Okay, now is everyone clear with this nested statements, right? How this logic, multiple logic works. Okay, now
Yes.
yeah, I assume all of you are awake. No, only I'm hearing Greg voice.
No, Bala.
Good. Okay. Now, what we were trying to do earlier was like, now we were trying to calculate the power of, right? So what I'm going to do is like, now let's do something. Okay. Okay, remove this. Remove this. This one. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, now okay. Now let me explain this program, what we have done here. Okay, now first what I have done is like, now first is a simple for loop. Okay, and that for loop is going to execute it 10 times. Okay, now when it comes inside, right, it declares a variable called as a val. Okay, and then what val is initialized to 1. That's it. Okay, next there is one more for statement. The only new thing in this for statement, what we haven't seen before is like, this is not a static value anymore. This is dynamically will change depending on depending on its parent loop. Okay, parent for loop. Okay, when it comes for the first time, right, what the value of k will be 0. Okay, so what will happen is like, now k will this will come inside. It won't go inside at all. Okay, so now what, because we know that whatever to the power of 0 is 1, right? So it will be 0 when it comes for the first time. Is j is less than 0? No, it's not. So the condition will become false. This loop will never get executed, not even one time. Okay, it will directly come to print out here. Okay, it will just say that I to the power, I is whatever value we have entered, okay. I to the power of k is value, what is that, 5 to the power of 0 is 1, we know that one, okay. When it goes for the next time, right, k will now get incremented. Now k will, what will be the k values is 1, okay. Now what will happen is like, now when it comes back here, it will reinitialize the variable called as val is 1. Now what will happen is like, now j is 0, and then now k is 1 for the second iteration, okay. Now what will happen is like, now is 0 is less than 1? Yes, it is less than 1. So what you are doing now is like, no, val is equal to val star I. What is value is 1. Sorry, don't worry about this. What is value is 1. 1 into whatever the user has entered is 5, okay, I. Okay, whatever user has entered is 5 means like, now 1 into 5 is 5, that will get stored in the val, and then in the next iteration j will become as 2. Now what will happen is 2 is less than 1, no it's not, so it will get executed, it will come outside with this one, and then val will remain as 5, okay. In the third iteration what will happen is like, now k will become as 2, and then it will come inside, is j is less than 0, sorry, j will get initialized to 0, and then j is less than 0 is less than 2, so it will get a, first time what will happen is like, now val is equal to val star I. So what will happen is, for the first iteration, 1 multiplied by 5 is 5 will be stored in the val, okay. In the second iteration what will happen is j will become as 1, so 1 is still less than 2, so it will still come inside. Now what will happen is like, now what was val has changed to 5, okay. 5 into 5 is 25, so val will 25 will get stored in the val, and then in the third iteration it will come out of the for loop, because the k value is 2, right, and then is j is less than 3 is less than 2, no it's not, so it will come outside of the for loop, and then what you will get is 25. It keeps on going like this, okay. Now I will write this one, okay. I'm pretty sure you must be a bit confused now, okay. How we can write it is, for the first iteration, let me print out here itself, okay. Write it here, okay. For the first time when it comes, right, this block, right, I'll name this as k block, okay. Now inside the for k block, right, for the first iteration it will be 0, okay, and then what will happen is like, now how this will look is, right, this will j will be initialized to 0, and then it will, sorry, j will be initialized to 0, and then it will check for whether it is j. Let's ignore this one for the first time, okay. Whether 0 is less than 0, no it's not, so it will directly skip this one, okay. It will never get executed, okay, and then we'll get the printout statement, okay, print statement, okay. For the second iteration what will happen is k will become as 1, okay. Now what will happen is, for is again j will be initialized to 0, and
you forgot to increment 1 because there's no.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just showing you what will happen for the first time, because for the first time this will never get executed, because initially the condition itself will become false. So one in the second, this I'm just showing the just think that this is the first iteration demo, this is the second iteration. What will happen, okay. Now what will happen is 0 is less than 1, yes it is, so let's check this here, okay. For the first iteration it will happen, this will get printed. When it goes for the second iteration, right, what will happen, so now j will be 0, okay. Now what will happen for the second iteration is j will become as 1, okay, and then what will happen is 1 is less than 1, no it's not, so it will come out of this loop, okay. And second iteration what will happen is k become 2, and then j equal to again 0. Now 0 is less than 2, it will go like this, j plus plus. So what you'll get is like, now it will nice. Yeah, what will happen is first iteration j is equal to, it's a valid statement, again j will become as 1, again a valid statement, then j will become as 2, which is not a valid statement, it will come out of it. So how many times it will get executed? It will get executed only twice, okay. So it will get executed only 1 here, it won't get executed at all, because the condition was not true in the first time itself, when it starts itself, okay. Now it keeps on going. Now this is what the logic for this one, okay. Do you guys kind of understood what it is? Still have any doubts, or do you want me to change it and explain it in a different way? If you don't understand, means like no, just ask, okay? Because in only in 20% of time it might be you, in 80% of time it might be me, because the reason is like, the way of I'm explaining, because I'm not an experienced teacher or anything like that. It might be the way I'm explaining, okay? I will try to change and explain. So if you didn't understand clearly, means like just ask, I will explain it again, okay? You guys are okay, right, till now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is what the nested for loops are for, okay? I'm pretty sure you'll use it lots and lots of time. Once we look into arrays, right, this will become very, very important, okay? The for loops and for statements, okay? Now I'm going to move away from the for statement to the other yeah, I want to tell you one more thing actually. Two keywords actually, which is really important for the for loop, okay? The two keywords are right now. I'm just going to do something here, okay? Okay, first is called continue. Continue. I forgot the spelling. Okay, sorry. Okay. I'll explain to you. Don't worry. Okay, that's it. Okay. First, let's see break. Break is simple to understand. Then continue. We'll go to continue. Okay. Now I'm just going to create one more class. Okay, because this class might be useful if I upload it. Okay, now let's do a simple for loop, okay? Okay, I'm trying this out. So what we'll get printouts from 0 to 10, okay? Simple as that, okay? Now, what happens if you put a break, right? So break, what is the purpose of the break is like, no, at any point of time, something, so you don't have control, there is a way, I told you in the starting, right? There is a way to control the flow of the for loop, right? So in any point of time, you want to break the for loop, you want to stop the for loop from executing, right? That's where you will use the keyword called as break, okay? Now, let's do that scanner thing inside itself, okay? Now, so say for example, I'll do one small thing. Okay. Now, what I've done is like, no, I'll show you one thing. I'll do this one. Okay. Now, let's see what it does. Okay, forget about the statement for a minute. Okay, let me apart from this, everything must be clear for you. Okay, so this is just an infinite loop. Okay, because there is no initialization, no condition, nothing. Okay, so it's going to execute endlessly forever. Okay, now first what it'll ask is like, it will ask me to enter a value, and once I enter a value, right? So in the last class what we saw was like, arithmetic operations of modulus, right? So sorry, arithmetic operation modulus means it will just tell you the remainder of this expression. Okay, so if you enter 5 means like, 5 divided by 2 is 4, 2 with remainder of 1. Okay, so 1 will be the answer. So 1 is equal to 0. No, it's not. So else part will get executed. So if you enter any even numbers, right, 4 or 6, right, so 4 modulus of 2 is 0, so it is equal to 0. This will get executed. Okay, I'm just checking whether it is an even number or odd number. As simple as that. Okay, now once I done that, right, so I just want this to be endless program. Okay, the user can use it any number of times you want, and I want to give the control to the user itself when he wants to stop using it. I do, because in the earlier in the when I did this power, right, I decided how many times. Okay, I decided value of 10. Okay, I just want to give the user the access. Okay, user can access any number of times he want. Okay, he can access for 5 times or 6 times. When he doesn't want to use it, right, when he wants to stop using this program, right, I want to give him a way to break it. So I want to give him a way to come out of this program. Okay, what I've done is like, I've given, whenever the user enters a value of 0, right, so first before executing any of these things, like first this if statement will get, this if statement will get executed. Okay, what will happen is like, I will be checked as 0. Yes, if it is 0 means like, it will just print out this statement, and this break will get executed. What will happen when the break gets executed, right? It will go back saying, it will simply search for if there is a loop. Okay, it will come out of this loop like this, just like that. Okay, this will be the last line where it will get executed. Okay, once it see in the line of execution, right, it will Java will execute this line. One second. Java will execute this line. It will come line by line. Once it sees a break, right, it will search for a loop. Okay, it can be this break can belong to any inner block. It will go back searching. Okay, is there a loop outside my block? No, it's not. Okay, so then go to the next block. Is there a loop outside my block? Yes, there is a loop. Okay, so this is a loop the user want to break from. Okay, so just come out of this loop, and then it will directly come here. The line of execution will come here. Okay, if once it sees a break, it will just come out of this loop. Okay, where this loop ends. Where this loop ends is, this is where it ends. Okay, so it will immediately come here. So break is nothing but like, whenever you want to break a for loop for some reason, for any reason, right, then you will use a break statement. Okay, if you want to stop a for loop. Okay, if I execute this one, right, so it will ask me to enter a value. If I enter 7, right, 7 is odd number, it will keep on asking me values. Okay, if I okay, if I press 8 is even number, 9 is odd number, 6, 5, it keeps on going in. Okay, if I press 0, right, see this one, right, thanks for using me, end. Okay, because what happened was like, say for example, if I put a statement after this, see, oh yeah, this itself is complaining it's unreachable code. Okay, I don't think I can execute this program. shoot, I can't save it. What was the name of this class again? Yeah, it's a compilation error actually. Okay, I didn't know that they have made it as a compilation error. Okay, you see this one, right? Why this is unreachable code is we know that why it is unreachable code, because what I told you was like, once this break was once it executes a break, right? That's the end of it. It won't anything execute after this break. Okay, once it sees a break, it will search for this for loop, any loop, while or do while or any loop, and then it will end there. It will just go outside of that block. Okay, so when I say outside of that block means this is the block. Okay, it will just go outside immediately when it sees here, right? It will jump, the line of execution will jump here. Okay, it won't execute any other thing here. Okay, now I'm not I'm going to run this in debug mode. I will, in the later classes, I will explain to you what is debug mode. Okay, I just wanted to show you. Okay, now okay, debug mode is nothing but it will show, you can execute by line, one by line. Okay, so that's what the debugger mode is. It is used to find out where your logic is going wrong or what mistake you have done. Okay, I think it's okay. It's asking me to enter value. I'm going to enter value 6. Okay, and now I'll just put a break statement here. Okay, if I press enter, right? Sorry. If I press enter here, right? So the line of execution is here. Okay, now okay, so after this, why it jumped from here to here is because you have entered I as 6. Okay, so it jumped from here. Now this line, this if statement will get executed. Okay, we do step over now, because the statement is true. Okay, because 6 modulus of 2 is 0, that's why it's going to get executed. Okay, now step over. Now once sorry, if you see the console, right, you will get the printout saying that 6 is a even number, and then else won't get executed. It will come here. Okay, because it's a for loop, right? From here it will go back to here. Okay, because this will get iterated again and again. Okay, now step over. Okay, because it has come back to the first line of this block again. Now, and then if I run it again, step over, it's going to print out that statement, enter the value. Okay, now if I execute this statement, so it's going to wait for, now it's expecting a value here, so I'm going to enter a value of 0 now. Okay, now and then press enter. Now immediately this line has come here. Okay, the power of line has come here. Okay, if I execute the next step over, now the condition is true, so it will come inside. Okay, it will just print out the statement. Now once it sees, right, as I told you, right, it will blindly jump out of this for loop and then come back here. Okay, see this one, right? Line of execution immediately came from here to here. Okay, that is what the break is for. When you want to stop the execution, right, you can use the break to end the execution there itself. Okay, that's what the use of break. Okay, I will tell you what is continue also means. Okay, now I hope everyone is clear what this break means. Okay, now let's see. Just remove all this. Don't worry about the debug mode. I'll tell you. I'll show you guys once we go to the classes. I'll show you guys what is the power of debug mode. Okay, now what I'm going to do is like, now what I was, yeah, I'm going to show you what is continue means. Okay, now say for example, again we will take the same example. If I because zero is not a really odd number or even number as well. That's a true rule for zero. Okay, say for example you don't want to uh, execute the for loop for some purposes, means like no, the continue will really come in handy. Continue is again the same thing, similar, very similar to break, but what will happen is like no, how the break went outside of the block, right? If it sees continue, means like no, it will jump here, it will go to the for statement, that's it. It will go, it's like again, oh yeah, you can see, you can understand in an easy way. Okay, so when you see break, right, it will go here just outside of this block statement. When you see continue, right, it will again go here, but it will be inside. Okay, when I say it's inside, means like no, it will go back to the for loop from the starting. Okay, that's all continue and break means. Continue and break, think like this. Okay, continue and break do the same thing. It just goes to the end of the for statement, but break just lies outside of the for statement. Continue just lies inside of the for statement. Okay, when I say inside of the for statement, means like now what is going to happen is it's still inside the for loop. So when the for loop will really end is like, no, when the condition becomes false, so it will never become false, so it will keep on executing. What is the purpose of the continue? Like, no, it will skip whenever it sees continue, right, it will skip all the other bits and it will just go jump here. Okay, and the break is also the same thing. Once it sees a break, right, it will skip all these things but jump outside of the for statement. Okay, the for will end there itself. Okay, let's see what I mean by continue. Okay, I'm just going to create. Okay, now okay, so sorry. Okay, if I execute this one, right, okay, I'm going to get only 1 3 4 5. So what has happened here is like, no, so first we'll get I will be 0. Now I modulus of 2 is 0, obviously, so it will be true. So what it will come inside, it will see continue, it will just jump here and then go here, it will skip this statement. Okay, now if when the I becomes 1, right, 1 modulus of 2 is 1, so it won't get executed. Now it will come outside of the statement, now and then this block will get executed. So what I mean is like, now whenever it sees continue, right, the statement, the line of execution, the line of execution will just jump here and then the for loop will continue from there onwards. Okay, so it is really useful to, like, you know, when you want to, in some circumstances you don't want it to get executed. Okay, you can use continue. Okay, what is good, a very good example is like, no, you can do it like this. Okay, again, this is a very good example. Okay, so we are going to just do simple division. Okay, user going to enter two values and then I'm going to do division. Okay, now, why I'm taking so much time in the for loop itself, like, no, because do while is really simple. Actually, it's exactly the same thing. Okay, pretty much. Okay, and then I'm going to get is equal to extent, and then outside. Okay, now so this is normal, understood, you understood, right? Okay, now let's execute this one. Okay, now I'm going to enter a numerator, and then I'm going to enter denominator values 2. It keeps on going on. Okay, if I do 67, if I do 34, I'm going to get a value. Okay, because 67 by 34 is obviously 1. It will be 1 point, but the because both are int, right? So that's why it's coming as 1. Okay, if I do some big number and then do it by 3 means like, I'm going to get some big numbers. Okay, now we all know that like you can't divide any values by 0. That is not allowed. Say for example, if I give numerator as 23 and denominator as 0, right? You'll get an exception. It's an error. Okay, that's what, it's not allowed to do it, right? Now how do you stop the user from entering 0? So what you do is like now only the continue will be really useful. Okay, once user enters both the values, right? You just check for denominator. Okay, if the denominator is equal to 0 means like now, then just type a message to user saying that you are not allowed division by 0, and then if you do continue, because the what is your objective is like now, if the user enters zeros, right, you don't want him to execute this line. Okay, you don't want to do the division. Okay, so to prevent that, right, this continue will be really useful. So when the user enters zeros, right, this will be, the statement will become true, and then it will come outside. It will just print out the statement, and then what continue will do is like now it will just skip this one until it will go to the end of the for loop as we discussed, and then it will repeat itself again. Okay, so if I run this one, right, entering the numerator and then denominator, getting the values, denominator, getting the values. Okay, now if I enter 0, right, what I'm going to get, okay, you're not allowed to do the division by 0 again, and then when after printing out that, what continue has done is it has left it here, and then the iteration will happen again it has started from the starting. Okay, that's all to it. Okay, now another important thing is like now it won't do the it will just jump here, that's it. The iteration will continue as it is. It won't do the initialization or anything like that again. Okay, it's a don't confuse yourself. It is exactly the same for loop how it was getting executed. Once a continue is done, it will just come here and then start continuing. Okay, now I will show that also, demonstration also. Okay, I'm just going to comment out this one, what I mean by that.
Sorry, Bala.
Yeah.
So basically, we're using continue when we want to continue after breaking at some point. We want to go back from the loop, and we're using break which want to terminate like
yes,
fully. Yes. So
yes,
we just don't want to continue at all.
Yes.
And is that what we're using after like error handling or?
If you, it's not really error handling. It's like a situation. Usually, how you will use break is like no, we will use break if you are dynamically decide, because in the say if you go back to this loop and all, like no, here we know that what is the end condition is going to be. The end condition is going to be if the k reaches 10. Okay, in many circumstances, what will happen is like no, we won't know when to end. So at the time, like no, dynamically we have to decide, and dynamically we need a way to end the for loop. So in those circumstances, break will be useful. Okay, you want to do in the exercise, right? There are examples, where you will really require to use break actually. It's not really error condition actually. Okay, break is a normal procedure itself. When I will use break is like now, if I see something like if I'm doing, say for example, if I'm talking to if I'm doing some communication, means like no. If I get anything other than 200 means I want to break out of that for loop, and then I want to come out of it, and then I want to do something else, means like no, I'm just doing the values. Okay, I'm just doing a HTTP communication with the client server or something like that. Okay, if I get 200, right, I want to continue as it is. Okay, once I get like 400 or something like that, now I just want to come out of it and then do something different. Okay, it's what break is for. Continue is nothing but, so think like this, break is permanently breaking the for loop. Continue is like not just breaking that one cycle alone. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Yep. Understood.
nothing much to it actually. Okay. Now in this statement, like, what I was trying to explain was like, if I plus plus. Okay. Now if I execute this one, right? If I execute this one, right, what will happen is like, only 5 will be missed. It's as simple as this, okay? Because the reason is like, it will get executed one by one. When it comes first time, it will be 0. So I is not 0 is not equal to 5. So this one will get executed. This line will get executed. Then I will become as 1. I will become as 1. 1 is not equal to 0. So this continue won't get executed. It will come here. Once I has been iterated to 5, right? What will happen is like continue will happen. So this line will be skipped and it will jump here and then it will go to the next iteration. What is next iteration is 6. That's why it is continued. As simple as this. If I put break here, right, I'm going to get only for 4, because what I told you was like, if it is continuous, like, it is just a one cycle skip actually. If it is a break, means like, it's a complete break, complete skip. Okay. If I execute this one, what you're going to see is like, 4 will be the end, because after 4, right, what happened was like, I has become as 5. Once it becomes 5 means a break has happened and then it will go to the end of the statement. Okay, outside of the for loop. Okay, that's it. This is what continue and break means. So think like this. Okay, continues to just skip one cycle. Okay, when I say skip one cycle means like whatever after that cycle. Okay, and then if it's a break means it will just completely come out of the for loop. Okay, is it clear what is break and continue means? Somewhat. Once you start using it, right, you just need to know what is break and continue means, because in the programming side, like, once you learn it academically, right, the balls will be up in the air bit. Once you start doing the exercise, right, then you will clearly understand what is the purpose of the break and continue.
Yeah, in real world when we use, then we will get to know. Now I understand, but how it's going to be.
Yes, that is what you will know how you are going to use it. All the important thing of this session is like, you just need to understand something like that exists in Java world, and you know what it's going to do. Okay, when you're going to do is like, that will come to use when the real program comes into the picture. If there is any automation or something like that, what you do tomorrow is like, just search for the keyword break in the whole project. Okay, you'll see lots of times it's getting used. Okay, just see it and then try to understand why they are breaking. Usually break will be inside some kind of condition. Okay, because if you do like this means like, if you do break like this means like, it's no use at all. Okay, only once it's complaining it's unreachable code, because when when it tries to execute itself, right, I'll just put this one here. So it doesn't matter how many what number you put. Okay, it's going to execute, always going to execute only once. The reason is because this line will get executed, this line will get executed, and then immediately it will come out. You can put how big a iteration you want. Okay, it's always going to get executed only once. Okay, so usually break will be inside a condition statement. So when you search for in the real-time project, right, you will understand why they use break or how they use break. Okay. The most important thing is like, Anjali and everyone, you need to know these kind of things exist. Okay, it's like I'm giving you tools. What are the tools available? So you will use those tools to do different things. Okay, that's all to it. Okay, now let's see while and do while quickly, and then I will jump to switch statement. Okay, that's what also I want to cover today. Okay, while is really simple actually. It's not a okay.
Bala, are you recording?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, because most of them are not.
Yeah, I know. I made sure. Yeah, I am recording. Yeah. Just double tick. Okay. Blank, starting. Okay. While will look exactly like if statement. Okay, while So in the for loop, you had 3 portions, right? What are the portions you had? What are the portions you had? You had initialization, condition, and iteration, right? In while loop, you just have condition. You won't have anything else. Okay, so just okay. So as I told, right, you can't have anything like this kind of things. Okay, you can't have int I equal to 0, I is less than 10. You can't have like this. Okay, it will start to complain. Okay, so you can just have a boolean condition here. Okay, so you just a boolean condition here, just printing a I, I plus plus. Okay,
so it is the same like if statement, yes?
It's exactly like if statement, but if statement will get executed only once, while will get executed.
But there is no iteration then.
Yeah, you have to do the iteration. The while itself won't do the iteration like for loop.
Okay.
So
okay.
you see here, right? I have done the iteration, but
Yeah.
if I forgot to do the iteration, right, it will turn into an infinite loop.
Okay.
Because the I will be always be less than 10, so you'll get printed out 0 0 0 forever. Okay, simple as this. Okay,
Yeah.
see for example, like again, if you want to make this as an infinite loop, right, you can just type true here again, and then again this becomes an infinite loop. See this one, right? If you type false, means like no, it will never get executed. Nothing will get executed. So it again says unreachable code, because this condition, the condition should become true, right? Then only the block of code will be executed. That's what the same thing with if, right? The condition should become true for the stop this one. For the condition should become true for the block of code to executed, right? The same condition here as well. For the while also, like now this condition should become true, then only it will executed. Okay, if it's false, means like no, it won't even get executed for the first time. That's why it says that unreachable code. Okay, there is no way of this line getting executed. Okay, so if I is good. Okay, now this is also really simple. Okay, now what again, why when they will do these kind of things, when they will come from for to while loop, right? In the for loop, if you know what is going to be the condition, what is going to be the iteration is going to be, what is going to be the condition and what is the iteration and how to break it. If you know all those things, means like now you use for loop. Okay, but if you want to give the without using the break keyword, right? If you want the user to have the permission, right? All you have to do is like no, let's do something like this. Okay, flag equal to first I will become true. Okay, now whatever the flag is, copy the thing itself. So okay, now so how we can the only way sorry, where is for loop to, yeah, the only way, so this is a simple infinite for loop what we did, and then the only way to come out of this for loop is the break statement, and when we will break it is when the user enters value 0. Okay, for the while loop, right, what you can do is like no, you can easily make the condition as false. Okay, so this is a really simple way. Okay, so the flag what you have initialized is true, so this again turn into an infinite loop. When this flag will become false is when the user enters 0. Okay, but there is one small problem here. Okay, I will execute this one, show you this. Okay, I enter value 6, it says that it's even number. If I enter 7, it's an odd number. But if I enter 0, right, what should have what we want is like, no, we don't want it to tell even number or odd number, but it will tell actually. It will see 0 and then the for loop will end actually. Okay. See, thanks for using and then it says that 0 is even number, because why it happened is like, no, flag has become false and then it has still continued doing this one, obviously because it is still inside the while loop. Once it ends the iteration here and then it goes back to the loop, right, then the flag will be checked. Now we have done the flag, made the flag as false here. Now it will come out of the loop. Okay, but if you don't want to this thing to happen, means like, no, now continue will be useful. If you type continue here, right, and then again if I execute this one, right, if I enter value 6, it says even number, 7 is odd number. If I type 0, right, it just says thanks for using me. Why? Because we know the continue, what the purpose of the continue. Continue will skip once it sees the continue, right, it will skip all the things inside the looping block, and then it will go to the end of the looping block and then it will jump here and then it will continue from here. Yes, it will continue from here and then because the flag has become false, right, it will come out of it. Okay, it's as simple as this one. Okay, now if you want to get rid of these two, means like, now you can change this, you can replace these two with break. Simple as that. Okay, if I enter value 6, enter 7 odd number, if I enter 0, it will come out of it, because the reason is it will just print out this one and then it will come out of the break. It will see the break, it will come out of the looping block, which is the looping block, end of the looping block. Here it will jump after this line. Okay, as simple as this. Okay, continue and break, right, it's exactly works similar, very similar to for it works exactly like how it works for the for to the while as well. Okay, everyone understood what is while means, right? The only difference between the while and the for loop is, you know, while is directly only the condition. For you can have initialization condition on the iteration as well. You can go, again the same in the while also, like, now you can go how many nested you want. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay, is everyone clear with while loop? Understood, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Now do while is very, very simple. Okay, you first do the do and then you do the while here. Okay, this is what the block this is how the do while loop looks like. Okay, and then you have to end it with the semicolon. Okay, now what is the purpose of in all my programming, right, in Java programming, I have never used do while. That's true. Okay, so only difference between the while and the do while, right, when you put the while here, right, it will before execute. Say for example you do this, you do this. Okay, now what will happen is, like, now if I put false here, right, it will, this loop will never get executed, because the reason is, like, now because for the first time itself it is false. Okay, if I run this one, right, you won't get any output at all. Okay, the reason is, sorry, I'll put an end in this simply to just show you this. Okay, directly this line will get executed, because for the first iteration itself flag was false, so it will never go inside. But if you don't want to check the condition for the first execution alone, right, you use do while. Okay, so what is do while means, right? Okay, what is do while means right now? Okay, what is do while means, like, now when it says do, right, irrespective of what is the condition, right, it will just, this line of code, this will get executed. Then for the next iteration, starting from the next iteration, right, the condition will be checked. So what I told you was, right, now, because when I put the while, right, it didn't even get executed at one time also. But if you put do while, right, it will get executed one time. For the second iteration, it will check the flag, and the flag is happened to be false, and then it will come out of it. Right, execute this one, right. For the first time, it will ask me values. If I type 8, right, it will say 8 is even number, and then it will immediately come out of it. Okay, the reason is it's simple as this. If you type do while means, like, now for the first iteration itself, the condition will be checked. If you do while, right, only for the second iteration onwards, the condition will be checked. Okay, it's as simple as this. Just give me 1 minute, guys. I'm just going to get the power. Yeah. Is everyone clear with do while also? Because I'm not going to go deep into it actually. Again, you can do the whatever you want to do with the do you did with the while or for loop. You can do nesting, do while. Everything is allowed. Okay. Again, the break and continue also works exactly the same as this one. Okay. Does anyone have any doubts in the do while?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do is just keeping the first condition, is that correct? And while it's just waiting for the first condition.
Can you speak again?
Sorry,
Yeah.
so do is just keeping the first condition, yes?
Yes. And from the next iteration onwards, it will check. Okay. The condition this condition will be checked. Okay. Do I? You can have anything any condition you want. Okay. So.
And again, it will run. If you give any iteration, it will run in iteration, or every time it's going to check first time do and then it will go for while.
Yes, if you do, you mean you're asking about the nested, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do the nested also, it's exactly the same thing. If you do the, let me do that. I'll go back to the for flag itself. So it's exactly the same thing. First time this will get executed, and then this will get executed. This will get executed. Okay. So what is the first block to be end? This is the first block to end actually. Okay. So once it prints out 3, right? It will check the flag. Oh no, it is false. So it will come outside. Okay. I'll put, okay, it's exactly the same thing. First this block will get executed, and then it will see immediately the flag is false, so it will come outside, and then again this will get printed, and then this flag will be checked for the next iteration. Again, next iteration is not allowed because the flag is false, so it will come here again, and then it will check the next iteration. Again, the flag is false, so it will come outside here. Okay, it will print exactly in this order: 1 2 3 2 out 1 out, 1 2 3 2 out 1 out. Okay, is Rajni okay? You're clear, or else you want to give another example? Okay, don't worry, Rajni. If you have smudge of doubt also, like, just ask me. I will try to explain in a different way, because these are all pretty simple concepts. Okay, because once we get into the class and objects, right, it's really important from the next couple of sessions onwards, that concept and all, like, no, you should clearly understand. Okay, whatever I know, right, you should know that also. So that level of understanding is required. Okay, so if you have any doubt, think like these are all practice sessions for asking doubts. Okay. Okay, so this is what do while is. Don't bother about do while, because I have never used do while in our. You just need to know something like that exists in the Java world. Okay, because sometimes intelligent, if someone is stupid as me, means is an interviewer, means like, no, they will ask this question: what is the difference between do while and while? You should tell that while means the first time itself, for a first iteration, the condition will be checked. For do while means first time no condition will be checked. From second iteration onwards, the condition will be checked. That's it. Okay. Now, I will talk about the switch from the next session. Okay, because we are run out of time. Okay. Switch is I want to go a bit deep into switch. Okay, when I want to talk about switch. Okay? There are a couple of good nice examples exercises in this one. I just want to quickly see this one. Okay, so if you see these this is one of the programs I got in the lab actually when I was studying in the computer science. Okay, this is simple, quite nice one. Okay, so what is the objective of this one? You have to use nested for loop to do this one, achieve this one. Okay, so all the user will do is like now user will enter, for example, the user enters 7, it's like so you have to calculate. Okay, you have to print 7 rows with 7 stars. Okay, first it is 1 star, next is 3 star, 5 star, it goes on 7 star, and then 11, and then 13 actually. Okay, if you count this one right, it will be 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then start reducing. Okay, you have to form the diamond shape using the 7. Okay, how you usually achieve is like now there is a big logic involved in here. Okay, try to solve that logic. Okay, we will see that in the next class. Okay, how we will do that one logic. Okay, oh, they have itself solution here. Okay, so if you try as much as possible. If you still couldn't get it, check the solution. Okay, they might have used nested for loops to do it. There are a lot of examples like this. Okay, if you are not able to do the one means like now, so do this and then try to use the same logic to achieve this one. Okay, this will be really interesting to do. Okay, these are all like a test will help you develop the logical skills of the programming. That's another aspect people never really talk about. Knowledge is one thing, you should know everything about Java, but another important thing in the development is like it's a logic, it's a problem solving skills. So these are all really will improve your problem solving skills. Okay, try to execute as many exercises as possible. Okay guys, we'll see about the switch statement next class. Okay.
Thank you, Bala.
No problem, Rajani, but again guys, definitely try this exercises. Okay, don't forget it, it will be really interesting to do it. Okay guys, I'll see you next class. Okay,
Thanks.
bye.
Thanks.
Bye.